So I want you to make an amazing decision moving forward. Something that feels like this is the thing that you really want. Is this a heck yes? Or is this a maybe? I don't want any maybes. I want you to be sure about what to do next. So today, I'm bringing on a special guest who is perfect for this. She is Eileen, who has been part of my team for quite a while now. She was actually my client first and now is part of my team. But this woman is an absolute expert at what she does. And I think that one of the things that I love most about Eileen is that she really sees people for who they are and she will tell you the truth. So I wanted her to come on here and share with you this message around answering your soul's calling and really making an empowered decision moving forward. And I'm going to let her take it away.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Fabi. As Fabi said, I love being part of this team. And what I feel like Fabi does such a beautiful job of doing is talking so much about embodying your gifts and your message and really sharing what you were meant to share with the world. And so today I'm going to talk a little bit about some of those similar concepts, but what I'm going to be talking about is using them through the lens of making powerful decisions. And so I hope that what I share with you today is really helpful as you explore whether working with our team is right for you, or even just proves to be helpful in any other decision that you may be faced with in your life. Because no matter what the decision is, your soul has the answer for you. You just need to know how to tune in and then hear it. So we hear so much about the importance of making powerful decisions that are in alignment with our highest good, but how do we actually do that? Like, I know I want to make a really empowered, awesome decision for myself, but how do I actually go about doing that? Do you make a pro and con list? You flip a coin? Do I just pull up the newspaper? I don't think those exist anymore, but read my horoscope? Do I call it my best friend? Like, what do I do? And that's literally been me my entire life. When it came to making sometimes really important decisions, I'd defer to other people. I'd ask my mom what she thought. Then I'd talk it all through with my husband and ask him what he thought. I might talk to my therapist. Like, I would literally go down the list. But the last person I would ever ask, and sometimes I didn't even ask myself, was me. I would check in with everyone else around me, and I never checked in with myself. And so not only did I give my power away to make a really aligned, perfect decision for myself, but I also sent a message to my soul that I didn't trust myself. And I didn't know myself well enough to make that powerful decision on my own. But here's the truth. I was never taught how to do that, how to trust myself. I was never taught how to tap in and find the answers from within. Instead, I was literally told how to make pro and con lists and make these rational decisions. And this was taught to me by very well-meaning people in my life. And because of all of that, I listened to those outside of myself. And I lived in a world where I trusted other people's thoughts and opinions on what I should do more than I trusted myself. And so guess what happened because I did that? Oh, yeah. I ended up pursuing jobs that I absolutely hated, or I would sign up for programs that I thought would be the answer to solve all the business problems that I had. Or I would follow these marketing formulas that I saw working for other people, when even though deep down, I knew all of these things didn't feel right to me. So I'm not telling you this because I'm blaming anybody else. I take 100% responsibility for everything that I did. And I learned so much by actually taking those misaligned actions. But now that I look back, I really have a lot more clarity about why I was so miserable in those jobs, or why that business didn't quite work out the way I imagined, or why that perfect marketing strategy didn't work out for me. This is because I didn't listen to my soul. I didn't stop and tune in and listen to my own inner knowing. So after lots of work over the last couple of years, I have finally found a way to really help get back to myself, to trust myself to make these decisions, and to really know what to say hell yes to and what to say hell no to. So do you want to know what it is? Here's my secret. I trust my gut. And I hear you all being like, oh my God, seriously, that's it? Like, that's it? Yeah, that's it. So the truth is, there is literally nothing revolutionary about this. And I'm sure you've probably heard the same advice, like probably even 1,000,000 times. So would I. Problem is that I intellectually understood it, but I never really embodied it. I never really took it out of my head and brought it down into my heart. And that's the problem with so much good advice that's out there, is that we'll say, yeah, I know that. Cool, you know it, but do you really know it? So what shifted for me is that I now feel into what feels right for me in the moment with every decision. And then I tune into my body and I feel, is this a hell yes? Does it feel expansive? Does it feel abundant? Does it feel like I'm filled with possibilities? For me, it feels like lightness. Or does it feel like a hell no? Does it feel like I'm kind of constricting and I'm closing in and I'm maybe closing off? Does it feel like I need to say no to this? Or sometimes does it even feel like a maybe? And in those situations, is it possible that maybe I need to revisit this at another time, or maybe that I need more information before I can make that powerful decision? I have to ask myself, is there something that I need that would help me make this decision? So for me in my process, I get an immediate yes or no gut response. And it sounds like it depends on kind of the moment, but it'll either sound like, It's like this guttural sound for me. Or sometimes I'll say, yep, nope. And when I don't think about the answers, it just comes out of me. It's purely like this gut reaction that comes from a deep knowing, which I consider my soul. I call it my intuition. And it's something that I can't necessarily even explain. I just know it. And for me, it just feels calm. And it almost like, in some ways, I almost feel like, this sounds weird because I just said calm, but it almost feels like I have butterflies in my stomach. But these are like the good ones. Like I'm like, ooh, this feels like almost tingly to me. So I shared with you all of this, like this is my process. But of course, I'm human and I sometimes revert back to my old ways of making decisions from my brain, where I'm being rational. I'm trying to think my way to a decision. And I can tell you that almost without a shadow of a doubt, those decisions almost never turn out the way I think they're going to. And I often only realize in hindsight that I failed to tune into my body rather than just listening to my brain. So at the end of the day, there are really two ways to make decisions: from a place of love or from a place of fear. And so I now know exactly what a loving decision feels like for me. Like I said, it feels light, it feels liberating, it feels like I can actually breathe deeply. And I know that I can feel it good down to like my core. Whereas a decision made from fear, I often feel like it comes from a place of like shoulding on myself. I should do this. I should be further along. I should do, all that shoulding that can happen to us. And when I make decisions from this space, I really do feel like when I look back on those decisions that I have felt disconnected from myself and from source and from my light. So with all of this that I'm sharing with you today, I really want to try to make it as practical as possible. I want to give you a practice that you can use to make any decision that you're faced with. I don't care if it's a big decision, a small decision, something in between. It could literally be like what to eat for lunch to what direction to take your business in. So before I share all that, though, I do want to have a caveat that I'm going to share with you, that because I'm not working with you one-on-one, I have to kind of universalize this process. So I'm going to give you a process that I want you to know that you should feel free to tweak it and to make it your own so that it works for you. Because just because this works for me, it doesn't mean that it's necessarily going to work for you. And so I want you to play with it and feel what feels good and just trust your gut and make it yours. So I have two exercises that I think are going to help you really tune in to this for yourself. So the first thing is, I want you to figure out what a yes and a no feels like for you. So what I recommend you do is you get quiet. You get into some quiet space. You close your eyes. I don't care how you do it. Just find some quiet in your life and say, show me my yes. And then just tune in to what happens for you. What are you feeling? What comes up for you? Is it like a physical expansion? Is it like that you feel like your head is tingling, or like whatever it happens? There are no right or wrong answers. This is figuring out what it is for you. So really finding that space for yourself. And when you have that yes, then you say the opposite. Show me my no. And feel into, again, what that no feels like for you. So some people, they'll get this feeling for themselves in a quiet meditative state. Sometimes it doesn't always happen. So another thing that can really help ground this into kind of like your reality is just practice asking yourself yes or no questions. And you can do this all day long. You can literally say, do I want turkey for lunch today? Yep. Cool. Do I want to take the dog for a walk right now? Nope. And just ask yourself some of these questions as you're going through it. Like, ask yourself which TV show you want to watch. Really start just to kind of play with this and make it a game so that you know what that feels like in your body. Keep asking it. Keep tuning into the answers. And here's the key. Trust and honor those answers. So when you get a yes, follow it. Do it. Eat that turkey or go on that, or don't go on that walk. So same with the no's, like do what those messages are telling you to do, because it's really important to make sure you're honoring them. So that's one practice. The second one is similar, but a little bit different, which is tune in, tap in, and listen to your higher self. So the only way that you're going to truly be able to tap into your inner knowing is to quiet the mind, quiet all the chatter, the stuff that is going on up in here 24/7. The noise that, like, because what's happening up here, this noise that's happening in your head is literally keeping you from hearing your inner voice or your soul or source or whatever word you want to use for that. So again, I find that it's really important to find a way to get quiet, to quiet what's going on in here. So for some, that's meditation. For others, it may be going for a walk in nature. It could be taking a bath or a shower, like whatever it is, whatever your thing is, find that time. And even if it's just for a couple of minutes, this does not need to be prolonged. It doesn't have to be this profound hour-long experience. It could be 5 minutes. It could be while you're driving the car. And so I want you to do this, not just because quieting your mind is really important, but because when your mind is quiet, that is when we allow our intuition and our higher self the space to drop in and share the wisdom that's always available to you. The answers are always within. They're always there. We just have to quiet the mind enough to allow room for it to happen. So I want you to find your way of getting quiet. Next, I want you to listen. I want you to be open to what you might see or hear or feel or smell, or sometimes you just know. You don't even know how you know, you just know. And be open to whenever that may come into your awareness. So it may happen while you're meditating. For me, it definitely doesn't. Nothing happens for me in meditation. What happens for me in meditation is that just opens me up to receive. I usually receive the downloads in the shower. Water allows things to kind of flow. Or when I am out in nature walking, taking my earbuds out, I am just completely present. Maybe for you, it does happen in meditation. Maybe it happens an hour after you've meditated. Maybe it happens when you're like driving your car to go pick up your kids, or sometimes it can come to people in dreams, or like maybe you overhear a conversation at the grocery store and you're like, oh, that was for me. I needed to hear that. But the point is you need to tune in and really listen and be open and available to what you need to know, what your soul is trying to tell you. And so again, when you hear this, I want you to ask yourself, does this feel light? Does it feel expansive? Does it feel open? Because if those are the feelings that you have inside of you, it's very likely that you've received a message from your soul. If it feels like heavy or constricting or just kind of closed, it's probably that your mind has gotten involved. Don't worry, it happens to all of us. Just keep repeating the process and keep tuning in and listening to the whispers of your soul, because they're going to be probably very quiet. And that's why we have to be tuned in. We have to be like really open and ready to receive it, because it may only just be a flash of knowing or an insight that comes to us. So the key is being open and receptive to receiving, and always being there, being open and saying, I'm ready for it. Tell me what I need to know. And then similar to the last one with your yeses and nos, once you get that answer, trust it. Act accordingly. There's nothing worse than like getting the answer and then doing the opposite because your brain kicks in or something happens. So the more that you trust your answers and act on them, the more you're going to trust yourself, and the easier it's going to be for you to access those inner knowings. So again, this is my process. This is how I get answers from my soul. This may not be the way you do it. And that's what I need you to figure out. How does your soul speak to you? And when it speaks, are you listening? So I also want to give you just a couple of things to also keep in mind whenever you are making a powerful decision. So number one, we've already covered this. Always check in with your higher self. check in. Even if it is what to eat for lunch. Cool. Test it out. See how it goes. Number 2, as I've kind of already mentioned, is choose love over fear. You can never go wrong when you choose love over fear. Number 3 is relax. That's coming from me. It's like so type A. But relax and know that you cannot make a mistake if you're listening and trusting yourself. Number 4 is practicing gratitude. Gratitude opens us up to receiving what we are meant to receive, including these messages from source, from our soul. Kind of along similar lines, is I want you to practice self-love. There's a theme of love going on throughout all of this. Love yourself. Stop making up stories about past things that you've done. Really treasure and love yourself, and your soul is going to reward you for that. Next one is visualize. Visualize what it is that you want and really get into the energy of what that feels like in your body. And that is going to allow you to also tap into more of those yeses and nos. Another one is asking for signs. I do this a lot. I ask my guides, my team for signs. Like, my most recent one was, give me the signs of pigs. I don't know. Don't ask. It doesn't make sense. That's why I knew it wasn't from my mind. It was from my intuition. It was like, I was told to ask for signs for a pig. Ask for your signs. Number 8 is aligning with abundance. Again, we can never go wrong when we are aligning with the abundance of what is possible out there for us. And then similarly, number 9 is trust that the universe is always going to bring you what's in your highest good. That is the truth. And I know sometimes you're going to get things and you'll be like, what? How is this in my highest good? Just know that there's a reason. And then number 10 is take action from a place of feeling good and spiritual alignment, which I think if you kind of do all of these things that we've talked about, you're going to be in that space. So with all of this said, I want you to know that I totally get it. I know where you are, because probably similar to you, I've made some decisions over the years that didn't turn out the way I thought they were going to. And they left me wondering, like, can I really trust myself? Can I make a decision? Do I actually know what's right? And so you start to fear that you're just going to make one more mistake. And I totally get that. But it's really time to stop making decisions based on fear in your current circumstances or even your past. Stop telling yourself that, you don't have enough time or money or energy or clients or whatever the BS story is that you're telling yourself of why you can't do these things. Instead, I want you to really ask yourself a couple questions. What's the truth of this situation? Usually in situations, when we ask that question, we realize a lot of what we're telling ourselves isn't actually the truth. And then I want you to ask, what do I truly want? I want you to visualize it. I want you to feel it in your body. What would it be like to be in that future version of myself? And I also want you to stop asking what you need to do and instead focus on who you need to be. Ask yourself, does this decision align with who I want to be? That can sometimes be so much more powerful. Well, not sometimes, usually is 100% more powerful than asking yourself what I need to do. And once you've gone through all of this, then you need to ask yourself, is this a yes or a no for me? And then make the decision on what's aligned with who you want to be. It's going to help you stop questioning like why you're doing something or getting lost in some of the uncertainty or the worry or the judgment, and really move you into trusting that if it's meant to be, it's going to work out. And that's going to allow you to take action with confidence and clarity, that you're going to feel like everything is happening for you. So I'm so glad that Bobby included me in this conversation this week. And I really hope that you use some of these practices. Maybe you don't use all of them. Maybe you kind of morph them into your own practice, but so that you really find a way to tune into your soul's calling. Because this is really important to me personally, because I know that every single person is here for a reason. You're part of this bigger picture, a bigger plan. And I know the reason you're here on this earth is so that you can shine your light in your own unique way. So I want you to really sit with that. You are here to shine your light in your own unique way. And part of my purpose is making sure that you do that. So I sincerely hope that what I shared with you today does that. And I hope that you're going to use some of these practices to help you get to your truth. The guidance that is available to you 24/7, as long as you remember to stop, get quiet, and listen inward. Okay, so that's it. I would love to throw it back to Fabi to see if she has anything to add.
Oh my God, that was so good. So good. I think that at the end of the day, it's truly about getting quiet and listening to your heart and figuring out what is the thing that it's telling you. Or not even figuring out, just paying attention to what it's trying to tell you and following your gut. I don't think that you will ever go wrong with following your gut. So thank you so much, Eileen. This was absolutely amazing. And just take the time to do these practices, take action on them. And I can't wait to connect with you soon.